Today, I'm going to show you how to do a reverse sear steak. Reverse sear is a slow cooking method that helps create a more evenly and perfectly cooked steak. First, we're going to want to season both sides liberally with salt and pepper. Be sure to season from high above for more evenly seasoned steak. Then we're going to allow our steak to rest for about 30 minutes or until it comes closer to room temperature. This also aids in a more even cooking throughout the steak. While our steak is coming to room temp, we're going to preheat our oven to 250 degrees, like so. Transfer your room temperature steak to a wire rack on a baking sheet. Then pop that guy into the oven until the internal temperature reaches your desired internal temperature. Now for this part, we want to use a digital cooking thermometer to check your steak's temp for the best results. Check periodically to make sure it doesn't overcook. Not quite done yet. We're just gonna pop that guy back in. Now you're going to want to pull your steak out about 15 to 20 degrees below your desired internal temp. For rare, you're looking for 100 degrees Fahrenheit, medium rare 110, and medium 120. Anything beyond that, grab a bag of beef jerky. Just kidding, but seriously. Once it reaches the internal temp, we're going to prep our aromatics. We have rosemary, thyme, and garlic. Only prep needed is the garlic in order to add more garlic flavor into your basting liquid. Place the garlic on your cutting board and use the flat edge of your knife to smash, then place to the side to have ready when you need it. Now we're going to use a cast iron pan to finish our steak. Heat your pan until you see little white wisps of smoke. You may reach for extra virgin olive oil, but we don't want that. We want an oil with a high smoke point, so we're going to use grapeseed and canola oil, same stuff I use in the restaurants. We're going to lightly oil the pan, then place the steak presentation side down first. We want to make sure you hear a sizzle when you hear the steak hit the pan. If you don't hear that sizzle, your pan is not hot enough. We're going to sear first side for about a minute and a half or until you have a nice golden sear. Don't worry if the sear is not even, this will fix itself during the basting process. For the basting process, we're going to add a lot of butter and our rosemary, thyme, and garlic into the pan and let all that melt together. Then we're going to baste or spoon the flavored melted butter over our steak, like so. We're going to do this for about a minute and a half to finish our steak. Then we're going to let it sit on the same wire rack we used earlier. While our steak is resting, let's make our pan sauce. We're going to make a mushroom butter sauce. First, we're going to need to trim and slice some mushrooms.
12 seconds later.
This may seem like a lot of mushrooms, but these are going to shrink while cooking. Now that's done, we're going to heat up our pan again. For this part, you may want to reach for a rubber spatula. We don't want that, not at all. We want a wooden spoon. This is going to make it easier to scrape up all the little bits and goodies in our pan. Once the pan is hot, we're going to add our white wine. Let that cook down until about half the volume you started with. Then you want to add your mushrooms and let them cook, adding a little bit more butter just in case our pan looks a little too dry. This is going to take a while since mushrooms have a lot of water in them, so we're just going to speed right through this. You may notice that I'm not seasoning my mushrooms. This is because everything is going to reduce and concentrate in flavor. Remember, you can always add, but you can't take out. So we're going to season our mushrooms near the end of cooking. About 7 to 10 minutes later, we're going to go ahead and add our heavy cream and let that cook down until it passes the spoon test, where you can draw a line on the back of the spoon with your finger. That will tell you the sauce has a perfect consistency. We're going to want to slice our steak because we're trying to impress here. Be sure to keep all your aromatics. This is the good stuff, and this is going to come in handy later when we're plating. Then transfer your steak to a cutting board, and then you're just going to go ahead and slice straight across. You don't have to worry about the grains of the meat and which direction you cut on a cut of steak like a ribeye or a New York. No matter which way you cut it, it's still going to be delicious. Go ahead and transfer to a plate, and then finish your steak with some nice flaky sea salt. Here I'm using Malden's sea salt because we're trying to impress. Then garnish our steak with our aromatics. And take our mushroom sauce and pour it over the top and side for effect. Clean up the edges, and you're ready to serve. Now, cleaning your cast iron pan. You may want to use steel wool, but this is a no-no. We're not even going to get it wet. We're going to use paper towels. Yes, paper towels. Use paper towels to wipe up as much grime and stuff from the pan as possible. Then turn the heat back on, and we're going to go ahead and get our pan hot for the next part. We're going to need to season our pan. Take some of the same neutral cooking oil we use for cooking our steak and pour a little bit back into our pan. Let that heat up, and take some more paper towels or a kitchen towel, and we're going to wipe down the pan, spreading the oil evenly across the surface and cleaning any residual stuff from the cooking. Ensure you don't have any oil slicks anywhere, and you're done. This will ensure your cast iron pan does not rust in storage and also retains its non-stick properties.